Hey everybody, Joe here from Mainline Overland. I'm excited to have Scott here from Power Tank with us today. As you might know, Power Tank is really the industry-leading expert on all things tire inflation, but you might not know is they are also the experts on shock inflation. So Scott, let's take it away.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different shocks out there on the market now. A lot of people buy these shock setups because they are the biggest and best, but they don't really know that they do have to either tune to pressurize the shocks or inflate them. Some of them come with no inflation pressure at all in them, and that can be a problem. So Power Tank does make a full array of tools to be able to inflate shocks. Some of them actually can use CO2, but the bulk of them use nitrogen. So our XP400 regulators, our XP400 Pro Series, these are dual gas regulators that can be used either with CO2 or with nitrogen. So we do have a brass adapter fitting that allows you to adapt a nitrogen bottle to one of our regulators. When you have that regulator on a nitrogen bottle, we have two different options right here on the table, in addition to a lot of other products for this type of application as well. But these are our two standalone shock inflation tools. This, with a regulator mated to a nitrogen bottle, will allow you to do everything you need to do with shock pressurization. We have an 800 PSI liquid-filled analog gauge on this single. On this dual channel inflator, we actually have a 1000 PSI digital inflator.
Wow.
This is able to do two shocks at the same time. You could have a shock that has a reservoir as well as another Schrader on the body of the shock, and you could pressurize both of them at the same time. Or you could do your front axle versus your rear axle. Some of them, the ride height is tunable with shock pressure. So being able to do both of them and make sure that you're balanced is important. So this dual channel ORI Series 1 is really the one you want for that. Both of these are very accurate. You're able to very easily see the needle sweep on the analog gauge. My rock crawler shocks that are on my Jeep Wrangler have to be set to 125 PSI. I can watch the needle move up and get them dead on every single time.
Sweet. So a lot of people out there are probably wondering, how do you even begin to go about repressurizing a shock? Let's say it's on your vehicle, or you're thinking about upgrading to a nicer suspension kit. Kind of what's everything people need to know before they go ahead and start putting random valves and start filling their shocks?
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is to always abide by the manufacturer's suggested pressure for those shocks. So these tools aren't designed to check the pressure in your shocks. They're designed to repressurize them to a set value. So you would actually decide what value you wanted before you even connected the tool. All of these have zero loss chucks. The reason they have these is so that when you do connect it to the Schrader valve on the shock body, it doesn't push the core in until you're ready. So you pressurize the tool and then you push the core in. The first thing you do is put the zero loss chuck on the Schrader valve of the shock body. After that, you connect the tool, then connect the tool to your nitrogen source, set the pressure that you want, turn the knob on the tool to pressurize it, and then rotate the knob in on the zero loss chuck to pressurize the shock. After you're finished pressurizing your first shock, turn the knob to the left to allow the valve core to seal the shock body again, move on to the next one.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't actually realize that they have to kind of maintain their shocks just like the rest of their vehicle. Most manufacturers recommend that you refill your shock once a year, at least once a year. If you're on a race team or something, they're doing that after every single kind of event. But I think a lot of people overlook that you do actually have to maintain this. And with these tools from Power Tank, this allows you to easily do this at your house. If this is something you're not quite comfortable with, here at Mainline Overland, something we're happy to help you out with. But this really isn't something you want to mess around with. So if you aren't comfortable with it, make sure you're taking it somewhere that's trusted, has experience filling shocks, because you can kind of blow out seals. You can do some damage to the shock.
Sure, or even running it around on low pressure can damage the shock rather quickly. So it's, a neglected shock is a shock that's going to need to be replaced pretty soon. So it is great that you guys are able to do this on any of your new suspension installations, but for that ongoing maintenance, it is nice to be able to have the flexibility to offer your customers tools that they can use at home to maintain the shocks without having to bring them in for something so simple.
Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions about the Power Tank shock filling tools, go ahead and check out the link down in our description. Also, if you're interested in learning more about the rest of the Power Tank product line, Go ahead, check out our other videos, and check out all the full power tank lineup on our website. Again, thanks for watching, and big thanks to Scott for coming in today and giving us a full rundown on all these awesome power tank products.
Always glad to be here.
Yep. See you on the next one.